Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rekakadash. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai being the name of His only begotten Son, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Now, I'm going to get into the nukes that's coming to America. And this is what the prophets did in the days of old. Jeremiah 28:8. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. See, this is what the prophets did. Verse 9, it say, the prophets which prophesy of peace. See, these are not the prophets. These are not the prophets that's speaking what the Lord want them to speak. The Lord is not using their mouth to talk to His creation. He using the mouth of the prophets that's talking about doom and gloom. That's talking about war and evil. This is the prophets that He's using, because He's using them, just like Ezekiel 3:17 say, as a warning. See, you don't warn people with peace, talking about peace all the time like Joel Osteen. See, that's not a warning. When you give somebody a warning, you talking about war and you talking about evil. You're trying to warn them that danger is coming. See, peace is not danger. See, peace and prosperity, that's not danger. That is not who He set up to talk to His people, talk to His creation. See, and so let me get into the warning that the nuclear missiles is coming for America. Now, it's easy to see. All you got to do is type in Babylon the Great is America, and you will see all kind of books that's been written. Now, why is this thing freezing up? You'll see all kind of books that's been written. Salakia. You'll see books that's being written on Babylon the Great being America. Now, when you go into Babylon the Great, it says, let's get the first verse of 17. It says, and there came one of the seven angels which had seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show you the judgment of the great whore that sit upon many waters. Okay, this great whore. Who is this great whore? Look at verse 18. It said, the woman which thou sawest is this great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. So this great whore, she reigned over the kings of the earth. But look at 16. It say, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. So this great city shall be hated by 10 kings. Because in verse 12 it says that those 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings. So the great city shall be hated by 10 kings. And it said, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. How are they going to burn her with fire? Now, when you go into Jeremiah, he talked about Babylon the Great, and he let you know who Babylon the Great was in chapter 49. And he didn't write any chapters. He was just writing as the Spirit was moving him, and he was writing in an order. So when you go into chapter 49, it talks about the nation that was going to be this Babylon. It say, verse 7, concerning Edom, thus says the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman. Teman is a son of Esau. Edom means the nation of the children of Esau. You see? And then verse 10 it say, but I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places. He shall not be able to hide himself. So he's going to try to hide himself. And the Lord is also hiding him so he can make a major revealing in the last days. See, this is the revealing of these America, this great city. See, and Basra is another uh, form of this great city. But let me get chapter 50, verse. Let's see, verse. Let's see here. Let's get verse 9. It say, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country." Those are the 10 kings. Those are the kings that is going to come up against Babylon the Great, America, the great city, and hate the whore. They're gonna burn her with fire. How are they gonna burn her with fire? Look at what the great assembly of nations is gonna do. "And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain." Their arrows. Okay, so when you go into Second Ezra 16, the last book, pretty much, of the scriptures, and really not the last book, but this is the end of Ezra's prophesying. He gave you the end of pretty much the world. And so let's see here, Ezra 16 and verse 13. Now we talking about the arrows. He said, "For strong is his right hand." Salakia. "For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shoot are sharp and shall not miss." See, that's why I say they shall not return in vain. When they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. See, this is the arrows that's going to be shot into the ends of the world. Now notice in verse 16 what it calls these arrows. It say, "Like an arrow which is shot by a mighty archer returneth not backwards. Even so the plague that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again." So those arrows are like a plague. Okay, let's get the plague. Let's get the plague. Okay. Let's go back to Revelation. Let's get this plague. It's talking about arrows. And we talking about plagues. They will be like a plague. Okay. Look at what he said about this great city. The great city, it says in verse 18, "It's so mighty an earthquake and so great, a great earthquake that was never seen before, happened to the great city." Saying the great city was divided into 3 parts. So Babylon, the great city, the whore that was hated by these 10 kings, they're gonna have a mighty earthquake. Okay, and it's gonna be divided into many pieces. Look at verse 12. Look at what they call this earthquake also. It say, "And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of talent, and men blasphemed God because of the plague. Of hell, for the plague thereof was exceedingly great." So it's a great plague that came and fell on America that caused the earthquake to divide the city. What was this plague that fell on America that's gonna divide the city of America? Let's go to Zechariah. Zechariah gives you the judgment before the kingdom of heaven. And what was this judgment before the kingdom of heaven? It says, "And this shall be the plague." See? "Wherewith the Lord will smite or kill all the people that have fought against Jerusalem, who had Jerusalem in slavery, who was torturing Jerusalem." See, with hard bondage and hard labor. It say, "Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet." Now, while you standing on your feet, how in the world is your flesh gonna consume away? It gotta be with fire. And it didn't say with fire, it said with plague, with a plague. What kind of plague? Exceedingly great plague that's gonna hit this great city that's slaving the children of Israel. It said, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Okay, this is this great plague. Let's get Malachi. Now, Malachi, mind you, is talking about this nation of Edom. That's going to be Babylon the Great. And it says that this nation of Edom is the border of wickedness in verse 4. So when you go into chapter 4, before it, in chapter 4 is the conclusion of Malachi's writings, and you see in verse 5 he's talking about the great and dreadful day of the Lord. So this is the great and dreadful day of the Lord, the day of Armageddon. See, it's going to be a great plague coming upon the great city. Look at what this great plague is going to do in verse 1. It says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up. See, what's going to burn them up? It's going to be fire. And how is this fire going to come? By the plague. See, how are these 10 kings going to burn this great city with fire? See, says the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. See, what kind of fire is going to take the roots out of the ground? See, what kind of fire is going to burn the roots of a tree out of the ground? Some roots in a tree go for miles down to the freaking ground. Some roots of a tree go way, way deep into the ground. What kind of plague, what kind of fire is going to come and hit the earth and be that powerful? Now you get Isaiah. We want to get all of them. Isaiah 34 and 5. Just get right to the point. Now he talks about that these figs is going to be something that's going to dissolve the heavens and the sky. And they're going to be falling like the fig tree, falling like fruits off a tree and falling like leaves off a tree, meaning it's going to be something coming down. See, something going to be coming down. Okay, now when these leaves is coming down and when these figs is falling down, this is what these leaves and these figs are. Verse 5, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. So in heaven, it's going to be some things that's falling like leaves and that's falling like figs out of a tree. They're going to be in the heaven. They're going to be in the sky. And these things is going to be the sword of the Lord. They're going to be the weapon of the Lord. They're going to be a weapon. And it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So this Idumea is talking about Edom. See, verse 6, it talks about the last sentence. It says, for the Lord have a sacrifice in Bozrah and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. So this Bozrah is talking about the nation of Edom. And when the Lord come, let's go Isaiah 60 real quick. 63, Salakia. To show that it's talking about Edom. Who is this that coming from Edom with dyed garments from Bozrah? See, it's going to be coming from the nation of Edom and Bozrah and the great city Bozrah, because Bozrah was a great city in Egypt. So this great city is the great city of the Edomites, because it's the kingdom of Edom, the so-called white man. You see, and real quick, to prove without a shadow of a doubt that the so-called white man is Edom. Look at Salakia, wrong book. Maccabees. Now Maccabees was taken over by the Macedonians over there in Greece. See, over there in Europe, and Alexander the Great got statues all over the place. Everybody know Alexander the Great was a white man. They take credit for Alexander the Great. You go to chapter 5, Alexander the Great and the Greeks, once he died, his Greek nation or his Edomite nation was still fighting the Israelites. Look at verse 3. Then Judas fought against the children of Esau in Idumea. See, that's why he said he's going to come bring those weapons that's falling like leaves and like figs upon Idumea, because these are the weapons that's gonna come and destroy America, that great city. America runs everything. Let's go to Revelation, since we're talking about America. Revelation 18, it tells you the destruction of this great city in detail. See, it says that the angel was pretty much uh, coming down from heaven, giving uh, the judgment to this Babylon. It says the angel said in verse 2, Babylon the great is fallen, which is the habitation of devils. So this is telling you that this America, or this great city, will have habitations of devils, many liars and deceivers in this place. And it's mainly with the merchants. Look at verse 3. It says, for all the nations have drunken the wine of her wrath, the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. So this nation would be a rich nation. It would be a rich country. See, the richest place on the earth. What people say about America, this is the richest country in the world. This is the greatest country in the world. See, it's a clear situation, man. That's why you got Putin on the TV talking about he gonna blow the place up. Now he said he's gonna call his people to come up out of Babylon in verse 4 so they don't get the plague. See, they don't receive this plague of these missiles coming to blow her up. Verse 8, it say, therefore shall her plagues come in one day. See, it's gonna be plagues coming to this place. Plagues gonna be coming to this place, Salakia. Now the plagues, it say, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, mourning, and famine. Because right before the fire, the nuclear missiles go off, it's gonna be martial law and a famine come through here like never before. It says, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. This great city will be burned with fire utterly. It's not talking about this is not a metaphoric situation. This is talking about a city being burned, a place with merchants. What else does the place have? It has merchandise of gold, silver, a freaking metaphor of a freaking religion. Is not talking about a place where you got months selling goods. Religion don't sell goods, man. That has nothing to do with a freaking religion. And they gonna try to metaphor the goods and all the merchandise. It really means and this and that. No, this is talking specifically about merchandise of gold, silver, stones, all kind of stuff. Look at the 13th verse. It says, in cinnamon and odors, ornaments, frankincense, wine, oil, flour, wheat, beasts. They selling all kind of animals here for all kind of purposes. Then you got chariots. Chariots is what the Negroes, the Patterson Company, they started turning the chariots into cars. He made the first automobile. And so this is one of the major places where you get automobiles. We were selling automobiles before the Chinese jumped in and started helping. Or the Edomites here, the Edomites in Germany also. They was selling these automobiles that these Negroes invented. Then it says slaves. The slaves invented the automobiles. Not a freaking slave usher boy who's slaving for the church. No, it's talking about a slave and souls of men. Slave working for these merchants, making them filthy rich. See? And then when the place is destroyed, it say, for in 1 hour, so great riches has come to nothing. See, that's what you got going on with these shipping companies over here. Once the shipping thing is getting backed up, it's taking the riches out of the country. So when they totally destroy it, yeah, it's gonna be utterly worthless. Ain't no riches gonna come out of this place when it's totally destroyed. But just when you having a shipping, what you call it, a supply chain problem, you see the economic downfall of the place and the economic worries See, before the destruction, you see them worrying all types of ways. And so look at what it says, verse 18. And cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? What city is like America? You can't find it. Nobody's gonna, no African, no Chinese, nobody gonna say, yeah, well, it's somebody competing with America. You might need to look at Australia. They really can compete with that America. That America ain't the greatest city, man. These people can compete because they got this and that. See, there's no other city that you're gonna bring up that can compare to America, man. So stop the darn semantics. But I'm gonna leave it there. Let me get one more. We're gonna leave it. I can't leave this out because this is what the video is about. It says, behold, I have made the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. I have created the waster to destroy. No weapon. This is talking about a weapon. The Lord is taking credit for these nuclear missiles that's being created, for this nuclear race. See, they racing to make nuclear missiles. All these nations are racing to make nuclear missiles. They're racing to make a weapon that can destroy a whole nation. See? And so this is what the prophets always did, man. They didn't just talk about peace all the time and prosperity. And this is mainly towards the Gentiles, because the Israelites have their own judgment wrapped up in itself. Verse 9, it say, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. See, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. See, who's gonna proclaim it to the Gentiles, the Israelites? That's why they say the prophets that's been before me and of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and evil. Prepare for war, because this is what is going on. World War III. This is what it was talking about. And what was World War III all about? Verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel. See, the one that you scattered around the nations and put into slavery and cast lots for them had bills of sale for slaves. We got Negroes for $200 over here, wenches and bucks. See, this is why the slave master don't want the information to come out. This is why he try to censor the information. This is why it's an information war. What you got, that guy had a whole radio program about information war, because Edom is trying to hide themselves. But the Lord is making them bare and showing that his scriptures was all about slavery and the greatest atrocity that was known to mankind. A 400 year slave trade. Google it, it will pop up on your phone. There's no other tragedy, there's no other situation that happened in history that can outdo the transatlantic slave trade. See, but it's going to all come to an end in the main hub of the slave trade, the United States of America, the great city Babylon, when it's being utterly burnt with fire by the 10 kings that was their allies, the NATO and the EU and Russia. The ally Edomites is going to destroy this great city. I'm going to leave it there. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, Ba'Shem Kakadash. Double honor to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect worldwide. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, descendants of slaves scattered around the globe on slave ships and through many captivities. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.